Now I'm going to discuss how we would look for a new law. In general, we look for a new law by the following process. First, we guess it. Then we well, don't laugh, that's really true. Then we compute the consequences of the guess to see what, if this is right, if this law that we guessed is right, we see what it would imply, and then we compare those computation results to nature, or we say compare to experiment or experience, compare it directly with observation to see if it works. If it disagrees with experiment, it's wrong. And that simple statement is the key to science. It doesn't make a difference how beautiful your guess is, it doesn't make a difference how smart you are who made the guess, or what his name is. If it disagrees with experiment, it's wrong. That's all there is to it.
I'm here for the truth.
And what's the truth?
We all want to know that. We all want to know.
Hi. I'm Dave, and I'm a flat earther. I've been globe-free now for 5 years.
Unthinking respect for authority is the greatest enemy of truth.
So people barely know what they're looking into it, and this is one of the things we see, that when people come out to try and debate flat earthers, they get a whoop. They are schooled all the time, as we saw this with Dave Murphy as well, and a debate that I analyzed. And we see it over and over. Iru just last week talked to people in Argentina in a debate. I thought they were students. That's how unprepared they were. They looked like students. They acted like students that barely knew the information that he was going to talk about. They admitted not to have even looked into what he was going to say before they came to try to debate him. And they just show their ignorance, completely unprepared. And some of them actually was like, yeah, I think we should question stuff.
So who said unthinking respect for authority is the greatest enemy of truth? Albert Einstein.
It's very easy to understand that the Earth is flat and a stationary plane. Yeah.
If it disagrees with experiment, it's wrong.
This is the Flat Earth Convention. It's for like-minded people to come and meet others and hopefully invite other people to investigate for themselves. All this Flat Earth movement that's been going on for over 4 or 5 years now, it's really starting to develop, and this is just one of many events that are happening all over the world.
Because we're starting to get these better cameras and everything, and they didn't know that people were going to use them to make observations. So it's kind of a technological revolution, but the media is not really going to tell you this. It's basically people who said, okay, it's a ball, I know it's a ball, I'm going to prove it. Then they don't come back. And it's a story that repeats itself over and over and over and over again. It doesn't matter if you're religious, what is the denomination. The people say, okay, I don't care if you're Christian, if you're this or that. You tell me it's not a ball, okay, I'm going to check for myself. You see so many examples of this.
But a lot of people think that, oh, flat earthers are so dumb, they must have just woke up yesterday. No, we all went to school just like you did. We learned the same things you guys did. We've just come to a different realization. We don't believe that we're a flying space pizza, which is what you'll see when it's ridiculed in every article and every newspaper. They'll always have that picture or online article. But it's not this flying disc in space with the moon here and flying upwards at 9.8 meters per second squared. So to any media here, we don't believe that. We don't believe that we're floating in space, that we're out here with these galaxy clouds, the Magellanic clouds, or out here in the stars. That's not what we believe. We don't think, obviously, also, just so you know, we didn't just appear out of a cave. I don't know where the media is.
Secondly, there's no one here that believes that we live on a pancake or a pizza floating in space, so please do not include these sort of images in your article because it's disingenuous and does not represent our findings or beliefs in the least.
It's basically, you have like a disc, a round disc, right? In the middle you have the, what we call North Pole.
It's wrong.
It's wrong.
It's wrong.
Okay. And I was in Shetland as well recently, and somebody tried to challenge me who had a science degree. And I'm a PhD in anthropology, by the way, so I'd been through the training and took even astronomy. And when I started showing some issues, the person couldn't articulate sentences. And then what she did is she went into the other room, pulled the David Bowie vinyl that has a Space Oddity song, and then she had to dance to that at least 2 or 3 times to kind of feel space come back. Space come back. It was just pretty amazing to watch. And at the end, they were geologists. They were actual professionals. And when Iro said something like, we need to look at the history, who created the system? You know, the Jesuits, and they're like, huh, history? Who needs to know this? Science moves forward. Why do you look back at history? That's the black hole of history that they have, especially in the sciences. Right? And people think, oh, there's all these independent space agencies. They don't understand that McDonald's is in China and in Japan. It's still McDonald's.
There's no fusion in the sun. They don't know how the sun works.
Well, this is
It's a transformer. Transforms from some other dimension. It's not burning anything. It doesn't have to. It's a converter. I don't know. Nobody knows. But that's what it does. That's the only thing it can do, because that's how everything works.
So the sun is not visible in that respect?
Not in free space. It's only invisible when gross matter becomes involved, like the Earth's atmosphere and envelope and the surface of the moon or whatever. That makes the light. So that means there's no time delay. So the whole time delay thing is meaningless. It doesn't take light years. There are no light years because there's no light. So that means that the light you see from the distant stars isn't 4 million years old. It could be only minutes old. It could be instantaneous. All the theories collapse when you can't see the stars in outer space.
And you cannot see it. Nestle did some research in the ISS to research the perfect cappuccino bubble. Because that's very important. That's in the European Space Agency website in the last month or so. Right? She talks, that's the perfect bubble, she said. Science moves forward.
There's no evidence to support that we live on a globe. That's the thing. You ask somebody to give us one proof that the Earth is a globe, you cannot, without scientific method, observable, testable, repeatable.
And from that height where they are, it's not possible to determine completely what is the reality.
Last year, Mick West was taken to task by Nathan Oakley and Anthony Riley about this specific issue. I hope we've got the audio sorted here. The R value used in this in his very popular Earth curve calculator and the audio that was captured by the YouTube live stream was absolutely priceless. So let's see if we can give it a listen.
By saying that you've accepted that it was based on an assumption. Do you still maintain that position?
Well, it's the standard model. Sorry, the standard model has no scientific backing. It is an assumption, correct? Well, it's the standard model. Sorry, the standard model has no scientific evidence. You only assume a value of R. Correct, Mick? For crying out loud, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the space agencies are faking all of the pictures. You have to look into NASA, who will tell you that all the pictures that you think are photos of Earth are actually images put together in Photoshop. The second law of thermodynamics states that you cannot have a high pressure system next to a low pressure system without a solid barrier. So the Earth being a high pressure system, directly next to a vacuum of space, is what we're told, well, that's not physically possible. I can give you 100 reasons, but you're going to think I'm crazy for thinking it, so.
I got a question for the audience, and it's actually from my son, because he was wondering, is there any people that believe in flat Earth and don't believe in God? Anyone? So no agnostic or atheist?
There's one person who contacted me who claims to be an atheist, and he's also a flat earther. But that's super rare. We haven't really found that. We see the other movement consistently from atheists, materialists who had been indoctrinated in that way, through this information changing their minds into something.
Between faith.
I was the atheist for 40 years, and the flat earth was the last straw, basically.
All right. Hi, flat earthers. just to break the ice.
A lot of people say flat earthers, they must be stupid.
It's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong.
So,
it's very easy to understand that the Earth is flat and a stationary plane. Yeah.
it's actually something. But, a lot of people say flat earthers, they must be stupid. That's a perfect bubble.
So I want to start out by telling everybody thank you, but starting with Dee Dee, first and foremost, and Gary.
These guys are supposed to be smart.
Ta-da!